Excellent. Absolutely, I need to highlight this. If you don't know why you are doing this course, you cannot excel in this course. Even if you are running anything, you're choosing any career. If you don't know why you are doing it, it's very difficult to become strong in it. Unless you become strong in it, you cannot excel in it. So what I want to highlight is, Murali, welcome.
Yes, Srini. Good morning.
Welcome. Ravi, welcome.
Hi, Srini.
What I want to highlight is, you need to really know why you are doing this. Murali, Ravi, I know we all need job. It is not just job. A thriving job, please understand, not surviving job. Surviving job is very dangerous. There are three type of people. People who survive is like, imagine you're in a big river, you're just floating, or ocean, you are floating. If you're floating, how long you will float? Sairam, be honest. 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, eventually you'll die. There are some people who sink, that they're happy people because they don't worry about gone case. But who will survive, who will really thrive is people who can swim. So they're thriving. So we need to get into the career, work as a team, and thrive. So what I'm trying to highlight is the whole world is Sairam, Vikas, Shanmugas, Sakumari. Everyone, all companies are focusing on data and AI, machine learning and AI generative AI. If they don't adopt that, the companies will close. That's why they are investing a lot of money into it. So you be there where the money is. Money won't come to your home. Growth won't come to your home. We need to go to where the growth is. The growth is here. So if you first get into data engineering, which is very, very critical for the companies, because data engineering makes sure your data is coming up good. Data engineering makes sure data quality is good. Data engineering makes sure data is available for machine learning, AI. Data engineering is the one which makes sure everything. So you are there near the gate. You work 1 year, 2 years. Then, okay, no man, I need to do more. Become machine learning engineer because you already know the data. You can become a good machine learning engineer. No, sir, I want to do AI also. Yes. You say I am a data and AI engineer. Use the engineer. Don't say scientist. Don't say scientist. If you said I'm a data scientist, you're gone. Because everyone, even the sixth graders are putting I'm a data scientist. Use the word engineer. Engineer means there is a lot of stuff. So we are here. We love this field. We're not tired. Sairam, how long we're here in this game? Already you know us.
Yeah, for many years.
Many years. Still, do you see we seem tired, Harun and me? No, right? We are even more excited because we thought, hey, a lot of things done, but nothing. It's still what do you call it, scratching on the surface. So trust me, we are in this game not as a part-time. We are really doubling down, tripling down. So that's where we'll support you. It's a journey. Murali, are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Srini. Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, yeah.
We need to double down. In the sense, I know you might be busy on many things, but make this as a priority. Every week,
Yes.
attend the classes, number one. Every day, at least 1 hour. 1 hour, hands-on. You can't put every day 1 hour. Every 2 days, put 2 hours. That consistency is important. 2 days, 4th day, 6th day, 8th day. That repetition is important. Repetition is important. That is very, very important. And Manasa, you joined masters, you're studying masters, you're studying hundreds of subjects. In fact, honestly, America doesn't care what you study. You are here in person. Now, what the skill you have, that is more important. So, in fact, America doesn't need master to do IT job. You go and see. Your master's helps you to come as a, what do you call it, to maintain your visa status. It gives an opportunity to bring it in person, because coming as H1B is difficult. Shanmuga, it is the same, because American, your IT job doesn't need masters. What it needs is what you know hands-on. So please don't get offended, because Shanmuga, I'm telling the facts.
Yes,
So
Srini.
it's good you have masters. It's good. But that doesn't ensure. So you are daily attending the classes, your master's classes. You spend 2 years. Just spend 3 months on this. This is life-saving. That is only a placeholder for you to come to US to stay here. But to thrive, to survive, thrive, this is what important. So you have a team. Harun is awesome guy. He does a lot of things. He works for a big startup, a high-stake job. He is a lot of responsibility, and he helps us in algebra, kids education. He take care of the trainings consistently. So you always see, right? How long Harun helping me, our associate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Since the Apple days.
Exactly, since the Apple days, almost 6 plus 7 years. Consistency. So we have a lot of things we can do together. We can help kids. We can help even other professionals. That's why we do as a team. Srini Shakumari, we are there with you in
Yes,
this
sir.
journey. Murali, we are there with you. Manasa, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes.
Ravi, I know you want to settle down on this, but you closely work with us. And even we are opening office, Ravi, here next
Sure,
week.
Srini. Yeah.
You can start coming, Shanmuga, whoever near in Frisco and McKinney. It's very, very important to work together and highlight yourself. You know this. You need to feel this team support. Then when you start talking to people, they need to see, hey, these guys know Databricks. You should be fluent in it, not just doing it. And don't get bogged down into small things. Hey, you understood ETL, you practiced in the class, a little bit of it's enough. Now go to next module. You see, I suppose I'm a cook. I'm making idli. How long I should learn how to do idli? Every day doing idli, will you think become you great cook? Only idli is a small part of cooking. Then make dosa, then uttapam, then biryani. Like that, that's why modules, you need to go to modules. Small parts, whether you know or not, don't worry. Because you'll have a lot of time when you go to work to do this way, that function, how it works, this function, how it works. Don't worry. Batch ETL, you know how to read, you know how to write, you know how to transform, most frequently used, you know how to write columns, etc. Okay, I know this. Okay, this is how the ETLs, I can extend it. Okay, this is the references. If I don't know, I'll Google it, or I'll call a few friends. I can build the batch pipelines. Now let me understand what is the storage, how the storage works. Oh, in the storage, there is a metadata. There is a managed table. There is the external tables. The location of the tables are important. How I can see this. Okay. And how I maintain the versions. How I can roll back. What is the concept of Delta? right? What happens when there is no delta? So what are the loading patterns? Hey, you can load, you can overwrite the data, you can append the data, you can insert, update, delete the data. Oh, all this is available on the cloud storage, on the open storage, cloud storage. Oh, this concept looks great. This is new. Go and see. You never might have seen this type of concepts. This is the concepts every company is adopting. These are the open concepts. Awesome. Then get into streaming. Like that, every week will be slowly taking you, Then certification. Then again, revise everything. Be fluent. Involve in giving certain demos, etc. And put in more energy. Not only in the work. When you speak, put some energy. Put a lively voice. It is going okay, sir. Murali, how are you? Are you practicing? Yeah, it's very hard to find 1 hour time, sir. Even it depresses me. Of course, Murali didn't say that. You should be encouraged. Yes, sir. This is really good. Or whatever, you don't have to say that something I want to hear. No. I like Shanmuga, and I say, hey, I never even thought, hey, how did you find the class? I asked actually, how did you find the class? Yeah, I feel like playing with data, he said, it looks very fancy to me, and I liked it, honestly. Oh, really? Because he's first time seeing something like this. Oh, he's reading the data. He's displaying the data. And Harun is saying, hey, data frame dot select this, is filtering the data. Hey, Shanmuga, any comments? Oh, is that a fancy statement you gave, or
Yes, yes, yeah.
you really felt like that?
No, I am really felt like that. It's like playing with data. Yeah.
Beautiful. Continue. I don't want to speak a lot of time. Manasa, you want to introduce yourself? These are all friendly people. You don't have to feel shy. Just tell them who you are and what is your ambition. Can you?
Yeah, myself, Manasa. So I'm doing my master's. My third sem is going to be for this fall. And I don't have any idea regarding this Databricks and all. So I would like to learn new things, and I would like to cope up with this current market
Super,
by the
super.
time I complete. Yeah.
You're fortunate. Be with right people. They're experienced people who finished masters, etc. So you are just joining. You have time, but don't waste the time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Srini Sakumari, welcome again. Sairam, let's focus. Ravi, let's team up. Subbu, Murali, I know Subbu.
Yes, if I have any questions, maybe I'll reach out to you or Science, Srini. Is it okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. Subbu, I want you to
Srini.
put a lot of effort. I know
Yes.
you're doing, but not looking at the videos, etc. Hands-on. Okay? If you're might be already doing, but I want you to, every one of you, to do at least an hour, guys. Go and see. Shah Rukh Khan has multi-millions, but he spent a lot of time on his profession. Sachin Tendulkar, of course, now retired. They put a lot of time. Singers put a lot of time. Even Trump put a lot of time, so everyone put a lot of time in their career.
Even after getting multi-million, they're still putting a lot of time, more time than us.
Exactly.
They don't try.
Well said, Harun. Yeah, Anand is putting a lot of time, right? I'm putting a lot of time. So everyone has to put a lot of time. Put consistently. That is important. I know you're also working a lot of hard, but now it's a time to focus. And now we decided, Sairam, now we decided in this, there is absolute no going back. Our billing rates are good. You don't even, you'll be surprised. I don't want to say on the recording. There are ranges are there, 100 to 200, 250 also there available if you really play the game very well. Sairam, that's almost like 2 jobs. So let's play the game big. Sairam, you're with us?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Super awesome, guys. I'm excited. Arun is doing great. Arun, you want to add any other comments? Is
No,
this just a morning pep-up talk or is it real? I also real implement now. My day, I'll be doing something, some initiative about this and other things. Tell me.
yeah, definitely. And not a pep talk, but it just helps to understand how the market is, what we need to do, encourage people. But as you rightly said, yes, we have to put a lot of effort. Nothing comes easy. There's a lot of market. I mean, other places, other industries, they're struggling. For then a market is not good, but data engineering is the one which is very hot. This is the only skill right now in the market that can still get you jobs.
Exactly. Last I want to say is when you're doing the course, you will have a lot of doubts. That's where the team is there. Even Harun has doubts when he was in Apple. He was learning, he learned, do you think I'll get a great job? Not a just job. He already has a very good job in Apple. But Harun, you will get a absolutely amazing job, you know. But focus on it. Focus on it. He did it. He was surprised. He was surprised. Harun, when
Yes.
people with 2 years experience, guys came, Harun, how do you know all these things? And Harun didn't have hardly 3 months of 4 months of experience. Do you remember that story, Harun? You want to share
And
that?
Apple, yeah, and when we were working for Apple, there was a um, big data practice from Infosys, and then there was some guy who was leading that practice head. We went in there, we did a demo for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. We connected a lot of just on the laptop. At that time, we didn't have all this Databricks notebooks and all of that. It was like almost 2015, almost 8, 9 years ago. We did Apache Spark on our laptops. We installed Cassandra, we installed Kafka, and then we ran end to end, reading files, producing, sending it to Kafka, then Apache Spark streaming job, reading from that Kafka, processing it, then writing it to Mongo database. End to end, we showed him in 20 minutes the complete demo, right from one end from the source all the way to Mongo database, pass through Kafka and Apache Spark and MongoDB and all of that. So he was really surprised. They also didn't know how to connect all of those stuff at that time. It was really early days, like so. It was amazing at that time.
So that's what you can do magic with this, because it is not simply one skill, guys. Another thing I want to say, Srinivas Sakamori,
Yeah.
Saira, please note this, but this is a secret a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think Databricks is one skill, actually. It is actually a group of 5 skills. Doing streaming, earlier, streaming is separate job. Batch is separate job. A data warehousing separate job. Compliance is separate job. Now Databricks put everything into one box. So it is a amalgamation of 3 to 4 skills in the market. Since they are packaged so well, and you are holding that package has a lot of value. This is the secret a lot of people don't know, especially new people. They think that it's a Java, PeopleSoft, Databricks. One skill is like a commodity. It's not a commodity. It is a really well curated skill. I shared you the secret. It's Srini Sakamore.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, still it is going strong. A $40 billion company, even the stock market is shaky. It is going to be one of the biggest IPO next year. So stay here and stay near the growth. Keep focus, guys. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Srini. So we'll get started. Okay. Thank you, team. So welcome back. We'll continue from where we did yesterday. So let us just recap what we have done yesterday. Anybody who wants to recap, Subbu, what we did yesterday?
Yesterday, we did like we converted to the like we trim the ear into the proper way, and uh, then we converted that variable to the integer, and uh, then logs log files, read the how to read the log files, that information,
Delta log, right?
delta logs.
In the transformations, what we have done, Murli, we asked yesterday, we asked some questions. We wanted to have you guys, anybody?
Yes. Yes, Arun. Yesterday, yeah, we changed some of the types of data types, varchar to the integer, and how to make that one. And also, we got the assignment like average. What is the average of a movie rating and average of the user, and what is the max and min ratings by each user, and also the what is the average rating given by each user. Yeah.
Have you guys practiced that? Anybody can share and show that?
I practiced min and max rating. I did not complete other things.
Okay. Shanmuga, Vikas.
I will share it here in this script. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let me give you do you have access?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can try.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So can anybody see?
Yep.
So this is yesterday transformation. From that transformation, I grouped the movie name. Then using the rating, min and max function, and in gold table, I wrote uh, gold schema. So in the table, movie by ratings. So I displayed like this one. This is movie name. Minimum rate and maximum rate is 0.5 and 5, and so most of them are like that.
Okay. Yep.
Some of them is like 0.5, 4.5. Yeah, they only 20 records it is display.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're done by user.
No, that is also I will do it after this.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Anybody else want to share what they have done? This is good, Subbu. Nice. Looks like you're getting the hang of it now. Right? Okay. All right. So I think, yeah, I'll give you more time today. Go ahead and do the practice, make more questions. Okay. And the same thing, what I want you to do is find a different data set and practice the same end-to-end things. Try to come up with questions, what you want to achieve from the data set. It could be this. There are other data sets in the Kaggle where you have like Amazon data products that I will also show you later. Sales of the Amazon products, that's one data set is there. There is a New York taxi rides data is there. So these are big data sets, huge data sets are also available. You can take that and put some questions, do same ETL end to end, try to read the files, parse it, okay, process it, right? First try to bronze, then process it, put some transformations around it, then try to silver, do aggregations and try to answer the questions, and then try to write it into the gold. Use different data sets. If you practice with 2-3 different data sets, you will know different data types, different columns. You will get more. You will be able to see more issues, and when you work on them, you will get more hands-on, more confidence, right? So try to do that. Okay. So today we will talk about Databricks Delta. What are the features? Yesterday we were talking about what is a Delta transaction log, how it is, how we can read that, what information does it have, what is time travel, versioning, and all of that. And towards the end, we will also talk about the other concepts. Okay. If you have any questions, ask me anytime. Let me share my screen. Okay. So we did this yesterday. So movies thing. So we have the questions here at the end, right? So this is what we tried to answer. Average rating for each movie, min and max for each movie, and rating by each user, average rating given by each user. Okay. Try to work on this. And then we talked about what is the delta log, transaction log, and how it works, right? So let's see here. Whatever you are trying to write, save data, ultimately it will be stored somewhere in the data store on the storage, right? So all the data, it is ultimately stored as Parquet files, and it is encrypted and compressed. Okay, so if you look at that, the path, right, where it is stored, you can see the JSON files, but before that you can also see the let me see if it is still available. Okay, this is within the delta log. So if I just remove this and run it, okay, so this is the path where your bronze dot movies is stored, right? So this is the delta log folder under which it will write all its metadata. Transaction log, you will have like JSON and CRC files. But under this folder, directly under movies, you have the data files, part 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, right? All of these, they are Parquet files.
Just to understand this one means I was off last two classes. You're
Mhm.
displaying the files in the under movies directory, and after that you're reading one file with the name delta log JSON file. Okay, and you're displaying add. Okay, just you're displaying the files. Okay, where the
Don't
add
worry
is.
about that. I'm just showing you this one first. Okay. What I'm doing here, bronzedb.movies, right? So why I'm going there? Because I have a table called movies, which I stored in the bronze database here. If you see here, save as table, if I go up, guys, please focus on this. This is very important. Okay. Um, this is the core concept of how the Databricks Delta works, right? How it supports the ACID transactions and lineage and time travel and all of that. Okay, so where is if we go up here, we're talking about
As Haruni is searching quickly to add, Srini Shakamuri, just your point is correct. The data exists in that folder. There exists an additional folder
Okay.
which tell about what is happening with that table, like any updates happening, any merges happening, any inserts happening. So
yeah.
that table that is captured in the delta log. That is the point.
Okay, means one question. Delta log in sense, there's only one table is associated with one log file, one delta
Correct.
log file. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
For each
It,
table, there will be a transaction log for that table, and then there will be data files for that table. So if you see here, bronze table name, bronze.movies, bronze is the database that we created, dot movies is the table name. So we have written this table, bronze.movies. Now, when I have written this table, movies, in the database bronze, now I'm going and checking where that data is stored, right? So bronze.movies, if I come here and then yeah, so bronze.movies, I'm saying describe extended. Okay, this is the syntax, describe extended bronze.movies. So this table, you can see it will display all the schema first, movie, title, genres, data type, and then it will give more information about the table itself. So the database is bronze, table is movies, okay. Last access created by statistics, type is managed, that we discussed briefly, but we will go into detail. Location, so this is where this table is stored. Table in the sense, whatever data in this table is stored at this location. Path. So we are taking this path, and now we'll see what it has actually stored. Okay, so dbfs user warehouse bronze db movies. So when I run this, the first command, it will give me all the details under that folder, under movies. There is a folder called delta log under this, and there are actually the data files. These are the actual data files, and this is the folder. So you have all these data files, 0, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. So all of this, 10 rows we have. Again, now if I go and take if we go into this delta log folder, right? So this is under the movies folder. We have all of this. These are the data files. And then there is another folder which stores the metadata called delta log. Okay. So if I go into this folder and see what is there, go here and go one level deep into this folder, delta underscore log, and then run this. This will give you the metadata about this table, about all those files. See here, we have JSON, we have CRC, and then some optimization files. So we'll first focus on the JSON file. So this JSON file is the actual transaction file that will tell you what happened during that creation of that version of the table, or what data is relevant, what is not. When you access the table, what data it should retrieve and give you. So we ran this.
It means it's a log file, but
Yes.
log file, why there is multiple extension JSON and CRC?
Yeah, we will come to that. It's not one log file. Every time you do some operation on the table, you create a new version, like snapshot. Okay. So when you do the snapshot, it creates a new log file for that. So the latest one. Now, if you see here, one JSON file, what it stores the path of the actual data file that is created. Okay. So where the data is for this version, what is the size, what are the number of records count, what is the minimum value for each of the attributes. Movie ID minimum value is 1. So these are strings. It will do that algorithm and say what are the minimum values here. Then it will find maximum values. The movie ID is integer. The maximum value for this movie ID in this version is this, and these are all available in this data file. So this is the metadata it stores. Okay. Now this is at the high level. Now we'll go deeper and see. So when you run this, why these are so many JSON files? Right?
Not the so many files, but the question is, if it is JSON is just have log means it's only one kind of one type, right? It's like JSON or just some log kind of extension. But
Yeah.
there are extensions. Means it's a suppose 00 CRC is there, 00 JSON is there. Is any CRC is a backup for JSON, or how it could be?
It has different information stored.
Okay.
Okay. So we can check that as well. We can just say, let's see. I will comment the other ones just, oh, that's okay. So this is the all the folders. This is the CRC. Oh, sorry, not list. We have
Basically, Srinivas,
Yeah.
basically, JSON gives you some information. CRC is another supporting file which maintains some checksum files. I mean, what is the size of it? If there is any corruption, you will know that CRC is some supporting file to maintain those transactions, especially the checksum related stuff.
Yeah. So it stores all files, partition values, again, modification time, and all of that. So it's just a supporting file, which is added. This a summary file in the JSON, and then there's more metadata written into the corresponding CRC file. So it's like the count and max min values and the version numbers and what files it has to scan is all stored in the JSON file.
See, that's why you see that you will see 2.json and 2.crc, they go like a pairs. So our general intuitive understanding is one file is sufficient, but this is a transaction log to capture the metadata. They designed it like that. Only JSON is very quick, commonly used information, you get it. CRC is more next level of metadata. You don't need to really read it that much.
Yeah.
Related to file. It's a support.
This is all for our understanding. Again, transaction logs. So normally you don't go and look and check work or any of these files. This is or the Databricks Delta to use to give you whatever you need. We are just trying to understand how it works.
That's a good point. So, this is mainly machine. It's how it maintains. Yeah, actually, we don't need to look into all these things. That point is very valid.
Here, just to understand, normally the logs files will automatically generate, right? Just whenever the transactions are into log, which is it means it's creating multiple files, multiple 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. Is there any certain limitations? Okay. If file size is around 200 means like 2 MB or 5 MB, it will write into another file, or how it could be that one. Is there any things we need to define there for a log?
Yeah, the log will be evolving every time. Yeah, I think there is one. It reaches one size, then it starts writing another log, something like that.
Yeah, each version it will write one JSON file. So it's all metadata, right? I don't think the metadata will be more than MBs or GBs. The actual data could go into MBs and GBs, but every time there is a new transaction and you're creating a new transaction log, it's just the metadata that it is writing. So the metadata will be max min values or the name of the files and all of that. So it's still been MBs only. You don't see log files going into huge MBs or GBs kind of a thing.
It's not size, actually. It's a number of, I think it supports 10 transactions. Then it creates another file. It's not the size of the log.
Okay. So I have another Delta Lake file. So this is provided by Databricks itself. So this is all the setup. So don't worry about the first 3 things what we are doing. I'll just want to go and show you the transactions in this. I'll just walk you through this. What we're doing, we're just creating a new top table. Okay, it's not there. We're creating a database called Delta DB. And then we are creating a new table called loans_delta in this. So the data is here and this URL location loans.parquet. We are pulling that and writing to our storage so that we have that file ready. So all these two steps are just to have a file ready, just like we downloaded from Kaggle and uploaded the CSV files, right? The same thing, they already have a Parquet file. So we are using the same file to run and get the file and make it ready to create a table. Okay.
So it's some setup. It's just to
Yeah.
go and get some data.
Yeah.
It's like a
Prerequisite.
preparation before prerequisites to do it.
So let's see here. Now I have this file. So this is what we have downloaded, loans.parquet file, loans parquet file. This is the size and this is the path where it is, right, on our DBFS. Just like we used to do CSV file, we are here reading the same format here. See, it is Parquet instead of CSV because this is a Parquet file. So then we load it. We are adding a new column to it called type. We just put batch and then timestamp. We are generating current timestamp as we are inserting data. And then we are writing that as a table called loans_delta. This part, I think we should all be very clear because we have been doing this. What namelet is not find. Okay, so we have to import the function. What a current timestamp is not defined.
Import all functions.
Okay, let me get from here. I have a copy of it. First, yeah. I just take summary of it. Okay. Where are the functions? Just import everything. Okay, so we are reading the Parquet file and then saving it as loans_delta. So that is the table that we are going to use for all of our transactions today. And then every time we do, we'll go back and see what's happening in the storage. So delta transaction log, how they are getting created, what is getting stored, kind of. Okay, so this is done now. So this is just the data we want to see, SQL, what data is there. So total 14,705 rows and loan ID. We just seeing 3 records here. And then we will go and check the transaction logs here. So what is the storage and what it is created. So first we will go and say there is history. What is the history for this table? When you do the history, it will show you all of these versions. See, version 0, 1, 2, 3, and what happened during those versions. So it's delete, create, create, create. So we did multiple times on this table. So it's storing the history from the past. What is the latest version? Is version 3 right now. Create or replace, we did. We can see the timestamp here. See, 0811. These are the older ones. Once we created 06, 08, some of the table is persisted. But the latest, the version is 0811. Do you guys get this?
Could you come again that one? Just it's not clear.
Yeah, we will come here. We'll come here. So let's see. Describe formatted delta. This is the table. And then you see we have the path here. Okay. So let's just go to the path and see what it has created. Just like we were seeing the metadata, right? So here we have delta log. And then we have the data files here. 4 data files and the delta log. So we want to see the transaction data within the delta log. So we'll just go and run this and see how many are there. So here, you see here 0 JSON, 1 JSON, 3 JSON. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? The same thing if you see here, corresponding to the versions of the table 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. So for each version you create, there is a transaction log that is created here. JSON, right? Now, 0 JSON is what it says. What happened on that version is create or replace. This is when the table is created. In version 1, there is a delete. What is the delete? Loan ID 4420. That was done long back. So these two are obsolete now because we again do a create or replace table. We have replaced it. So these are not relevant, 0 and 1. We have done twice. So the latest one is version 3, right? So if we go to version 3 and want to see what is there in the version 3 table, 003 JSON, right? So this is the latest one. This is what we have created the table, and then we have added this data.
But we can't see the version 2 and 1, right? Means one was deleted and one was recreated. We can't see those information, right?
Yeah, we can still see the JSON files here. What happened in the history, we can still see. But when you access the table, it will always give you the latest version snapshot, which is 03.
Srinivas, they are still relevant because you can roll back to previous versions if needed.
We will see that time travel and how we go back in time in the snapshot and see the data, or if needed, we replace or move the table to that version, prior version, roll back to the prior version.
But as Harun mentioned, it always looks to the latest.
Yeah. Okay. So we can look at 0, we can look at 1 and see what happened here. So this is the 0. This is the file at 0 version. It was old. Number of records is this. We have funded amount, which is 1000. Loan ID is 0. Okay. Max values. This is the maximum loan ID. Maximum fund amount is this. These are all tag, insertion time, and all of this. Now, if you go to version 1, again, this is the size. This is the total files. Again, same funded amount, 1,000. Maximum amount is 40,000. So all of this data for that particular version. Now, what we are interested now is the latest version, that is 03. That is what we have now created, right? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
So Harun, even first time you showed the drop table also there, right? So that also it comes in the log.
No, drop table is different. Drop table does not come in. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have dropped the table. Now let's go and see. So table or view not found. Okay. So if that table itself is not there, then there is no path to check where that is, right? So even this will not work. Table or view is not there. So if you go see here path, there is no file here. There's no path. Everything is gone. Once you drop the table, you cannot travel back or see history or redo it or whatever. Nothing. Drop, it's gone. All this lineage versioning only happens if the table is there and then you're doing a delete on that table. Deleting the records, it will store the old files and then it will create new data files and new transaction logs saying that these are the new relevant data files you should read. The deleted ones are there in the old versions. Whenever you do a select on the table, it will get you the latest data or for any transaction. But if you want to go back and see the history or you want to see the data as of yesterday, then you can go and say, give me the data from this table as of this version. Give me from version 0 or version 1 or whatever. Or you can also use as of timestamp. Show me the data, how it was 3 days ago. Using that timestamp, it will give you, so that timestamp, what files are relevant at that point of time. It will read those files, data files, and give you that data. Now let's go back and create data in this and see what happens. So we have these files already there. We just need to write the data into this. So we'll just write the data into create this table now. So this is, we have written the data. It's done. Now let's look at the history. Okay. See, now it's a clean slate. No confusion. We have dropped it. All history gone. Table is gone. Data is gone. Everything is gone. We have recreated it. We have a new version, 0. Right now, what we have done, create or replace. This is the first version of the table. Right? And this is the path. Now, if you go there, it will show you what are the delta log is created for this. And then the data file is created for this. Now go into the delta log and see what are the files. So you will only get 0 JSON because this is the first version. Right? Now, if you go here and run this, so it will fail because we don't have 0, 1 yet. The only version we have is 0. Now in 0, if you go here, it will again tell you what are the number of records, what is the funded amount, minimum, min, max values for each attribute in the table. Okay. and all of this metadata.
Arun, what is that funded amount?
This is just a attribute column, right? If you look at the data.
Column, there is a column funded amount.
If you go here, we have not seen the data, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen the data.
Okay, let's go here and see. We'll just do. So first, let's say select star. We will see. Select star from.
It is there in that table, description formatted loans. You can see funded amount over there.
Oh, the column.
Column is.
Okay, nice.
Okay, here. So there is a loan ID. There is funded amount, paid amount, address, type, timestamp.
Yeah. The min-max team, min-max it gives
So
because
do,
they act like a stats.
Yeah, min funded amount,
AMNT.
max funded amount. If you take, it should match with what it is storing in the table. So 1,000 and 40,000. Minimum is 1,000. Maximum amount in this is 40,000. Okay. So if you go and read this, it will also say the minimum amount for funded amount column is minimum is 1,000. Maximum is 40,000. This is the maximum, 40,000 max values. Same thing, it will calculate for all the attributes. String values, it's okay. Alphabetical, it will give you.
Only the min-max only. Can you highlight that, Harun? Stats, the word stats.
Yeah.
It comes under stat, guys. Why? You may ask me why it is showing min and max. So generally, min and max is like a range in statistics. So people start looking, instead of calculating everything every time, running that min-max functions, it can even get this information from your stats.
Okay. So this part you're clear? When you run the data, once you create the table, insert the data, where the data is going, where the actual data files, and what is the metadata for those files stored, and versions, right? Are you clear with this? Can we move forward?
Yes.
Okay. Murali, Subbu, Vikas.
Come
Yes,
on,
sir.
guys.
Yes,
Please
sir.
say
Yes.
thumbs up. Or,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay, so this is just the Delta Lake. We were anyways all were doing this. Batch reading, raw data, bronze, silver, gold, how we move, the transformations that we are already doing. And it is how it is served to BI dashboards and the machine learning algorithms. As I said, like even machine learning would still need data from this part, the data engineering, ML and AI and all of that. So
you can become better ML guy if you know data engineering. Thanks.
Exactly. Now here, so what we are going to see, so this is all like Delta, right? So how the Delta is stored and how it helps to do the better data quality and support ACID transactions if something changes, how we handle that. Now we are adding a new column called credit score, which is the integer type to this table. Okay. This is the syntax. Now again, don't stress too much on the syntax. What we are doing here is taking the schema of the current table, spark.table loans delta dot schema. Dot schema will give you the schema of the table. Dot fields will give you all the fields of that table, existing columns. Plus, we are adding this new column as struct field in this. Now, this is the new schema. The old one, all existing fields, plus this new field called credit score with integer type. We take this new schema, and then we are creating two new data rows to insert into, append to the table. So right now we are reading from CSV files, we were reading from Parquet file. We will also show you JSON file, but you can also generate some data within the notebook and then append it. Create a data frame out of it and then write to the table or append to the table. So for that, we are creating like, in SQL, you write insert into, and then you write all column names, and then you give data for each column, right? So same thing, we are creating the list of values for each row. So the first one we know from the schema, it's the ID, funded amount, and whatever this state type is batch, timestamp. And this is the new value that we are adding, new column, that is the credit score. So these are two rows which will have this new value also for this column.
Okay, one question here. Normally, we are adding a new column. Means I need to define the new schema also to that, or it means it won't understand, hey, we added a column to particular table.
No, we are still not added the column to the table yet.
But you defined a column and just you...
We are trying to insert that into the table. So the existing table schema is different. What we are trying to insert, that schema is different. Generally, you have one more column here, so it will error out because that column is not there in the table in the backend. We discussed in our previous sessions how it will handle when there is a new column coming in. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you now. So for now,
allow me to add one line. Srini, imagine this scenario. You already have a table. Okay.
Yeah.
Now imagine you got 2 additional columns.
Okay.
In a source file.
Yeah.
So when you read that source file, your data frame will have 2 additional new columns with the data, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Then you are trying to insert into a table which doesn't have those columns.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. You are defining a column. Maybe this column can be added to any table here.
So Harun is trying to simulate that exercise. He is not reading from the source file. Instead, he is creating the data frame with the new columns. Yeah. Now he is going to insert it and show you how the delta table behaves.
Okay.
How schema evolves.
Yeah, schema evolution. That's
you don't have to
about features.
You don't have to alter the table. That is the beauty, Srini. Right? In general tables, you cannot just insert a new data without altering the table, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
But delta evolves even without altering the table. That's what he is going to show.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing
is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, one question here. First he created one column. Okay. There's already one table with the existing structure. He's adding that particular column to the existing structure. We can say not just this is table.
He hasn't added to existing. It's a new.
Yeah. So just allow me. Give me 2 minutes. Then we will come back to your question.
You didn't do that yet.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Sure.
I will show you, right? Then we will discuss. Okay. So this is the loans delta, right? This is our table. What are the columns it has? Loan ID, funded amount, paid amount, address, date, type, and timestamp. 6 columns, right? Now, into this table, I am going to write new data, okay, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Yeah. So there is a schema mismatch. Yeah. Now, when I try to write this, it will obviously error out. Okay. Yeah. So how do we handle this situation is what we are going to see now. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes. So here, this data frame, whatever new data, this is the data frame, has this schema, but our existing table has different schema. It does not have the credit score, only these 6 columns. Now, what I'm trying to do, so this is the data. These are the 2 rows that I'm trying to insert into that table where there is a new column called credit score and it has some data. So now I'm going to do new data.write, format is delta, mode is append. I'm going to append my new data. So these 2 rows to this table loans delta. But when I try to write, you see here, it says schema mismatch detected when writing to the delta table. That is obvious. That's what we are expecting. Now it also says use option called merge schema true. This is the option. This is the feature of Databricks Delta that we are talking about. Merge schema, which means if you find a different schema, try to merge both the schema and go to the new schema as per what I'm trying to insert the data. So it is also giving you what is the existing schema and what is the data schema. See here. So it's giving you everything. It is saying why it has failed. It is saying what you should do to fix it. And it is also showing the old and new, what you're trying to do. The analysis of entire thing. Okay. Now, what I have to do, I just need to follow what it says to fix it, right? So I will use that option here. The same thing I'm trying to write, format delta, mode is append. I'm adding a new option, merge schema true. So go ahead and merge the schema when you find a difference in the schema. Now it's again optional. See, if in your workflow or in your job, in your company, in your industry, in an organization we are doing, if it is not allowed, you don't want to allow the schema if it is different. You don't want the source to randomly keep adding new columns, sending new data, and you see like it will break something downstream. Then you don't put this option and you allow it to fail. It is a check. Then you go back to source system and say, hey, you are adding 2 columns or you're adding new columns, you're sending new data. I'm not ready to consume that. I want you to fix this. We are not processing this. We had a failure. Now you go to source system, ask them to fix it, get it and do it. Or you say, it's okay. Let them, whatever is coming in, I will allow it. I will write it, change the schema and I'll allow new data to come in and I will process accordingly. It doesn't break anything. Then you say option as merge schema true and then save to the table. Now when I execute, so I have not executed this. Now let's see. So first I will execute this. Okay. So now it is successful. It has run the jobs. It has stored. Now if I run this from the data, so I will get these 2 new rows that were added. And then you can see the credit score 649,702, 9997, 9998. So see, this is exactly the data that we have created here, inserted 9997, 998, 649,702, new column with credit score. Right. So we have done option merge schema true. And so it has added this data here. Now what happens to the existing, for the column, right? So let's say if I don't use this, and do this. Okay. See the previous data, the column is there, but all the data is null for all the previous records, historical records. So only the new data for this 2 records, we have the data here. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go back and see what's happening on the history. Right now we have added schema evaluation. We have added new data. Now I want to go back and see what is happening in my transaction logs. Right. So here. So I have new files here. This is the data files. Now I'll go back and check what's happening in the metadata, the transaction files. See, now I have 0 and 1. There is a new version that is created after I have added new data and done the schema evaluation, right? So now if I go and run here, I will also get 0 and 1. So this is 0 and this is 1. So version 1, you can see here, you see the loan ID is different now. Minimum value is different, 9997. This is the maximum value, 9998. Okay, for this version, basically.
Means only 2 records were updated. That's why it's showing those two here.
Yeah. So this is 10,000. This is 20,000. Okay, this is what happened on this version. Version 1. Let's go back here. I want to see one more thing. Describe history. Yeah, so if you describe history, you say 0 is create or replace, version 1 is write. Mode, it also gives you mode is append. You have appended the data, right? And it gives you all these versions, what happened on the 0 and 1. So, in version 1 only you have added 2 more records. In version 0, those records are not there, right? So I have 2 versions now. Okay, so let's see how we do the time travel, what we call. If you want to go back in time and see what is at version 0 and what is at version 1, and what happens if we do more transactions on that. So schema evolution we have seen, and then this is the Delta Lake time travel. So data changes, reproducing experiments and rollbacks. You can query the snapshots of your tables by either version number or by timestamp.
Arun,
Yep.
sorry for the interruption.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Should we need to specify each and every data value if we want to add some new column? I mean, we are specifying the loan ID. Could you please go back here?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are adding the loan ID, funded amount, everything, and we are going to add the credit score. Are you getting my point? Could you please scroll? Yeah, here. Data equals to, you're adding everything, every data is added here.
Yeah, so if you're adding a new row,
Mm-hmm.
you need to add all the values for all the columns, right? With the new
Yeah, is
column.
this the new
So-
data that we are adding completely? I mean, the funded amount, paid amount.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
what's the question is, means you're doing the merges, right? We already have a table and
Mhm.
you're one data, okay, with the additional column, just the credit score. Okay. What
Mhm.
Manasa is trying asking is, when you're doing the merging one data set with one table with another data set, just we have loan ID is a unique key over there. If you
Exactly.
the
My
loan
question
ID
is that.
with the loan ID and the credit score, is that won't be good enough to merge the data.
Yeah, you can. See, you can take all of that, but what happens? All these values will be just null. That's it.
But
So
because
basically, it is an insert statement.
Yeah,
right?
it's an insert statement. It's a new record. It's an insert into this table. We are adding the value.
let me add one point. Mansa, first is there is no relation between versions and what the data he is inserting. Please understand. Versioning is only what happened to the table.
Mhm.
The data he is inserting is just to show you an example, because usually you get the source data somewhere and you try to insert. So
Okay.
one should demonstrate how to insert rather before showing some versions. He first created a table. So it means that one thing is done. So version 0 of the table. Now this table will be changing. One day you'll be inserting, one day you'll be deleting, one day you'll be doing a lot of things. So as it is changing, how the table is changing, he want to show you. To show you that, he took an example. The example he took is just inserting 2 rows. The 2 rows is just an example. He can even put 3 rows. He can put 100 rows. Just to show you, he is putting that data to you. Even he can get the data reading from another file. So then he inserted. So those 2 rows, the 2 rows has nothing to do with versions. But the 2 versions you have is different. 2 rows is different. These can be 3 rows. If there is a 3 rows, still it is second version only. The version of a table is what you have done to the table, not how many rows you inserted. How many rows inserted, still it is a second version only. So, okay, does it answer your question, Mansa?
Yeah.
Yeah, now what is it?
So you mean we can add the loan ID just how should I tell you? So by specifying the loan ID, we can add the credit score without mentioning funded amount, paid amount,
Yeah.
values.
If you don't
Usually you insert all the rows, right? You inserted all the rows because
Okay.
that is it's a new data, right? When your new data
Oh,
is
okay.
coming, you won't get loan ID and the credit score itself, right? The whole row you get, right? Only
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
doing additional data is coming. Additional data is additional call, correct?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I thought it is already existing data, so I have asked that
No,
question.
existing data is it's going to be an update. It's a
Yeah.
okay.
So
Thank
I
you.
will show what happened to the existing and the new data, right? So here, see, we have these 2 new rows now, okay? And then we are talking about time travel, version number or timestamp. So we have seen, we have here 2 versions, okay? 0 and 1. Now, I want to go and see version 0. I don't have 10 as of now. I can go and do a select from loans delta version as of 0. Okay. So I will see here what data are you getting? Loan ID, funded amount, paid amount, address, type, timestamp. There is no credit score here. Please observe here. Look, at the time of version 0, when table was created and data was inserted, whatever, at a version 0, there is no concept of credit score yet, because at that time we didn't know that credit score was there and data is there. It came later at version 1, right? Now, if I run this loans delta, which is it will always give you the latest, which is version 1. So here you have credit score column. See, here you don't have credit score column. Even the schema also it maintains. At version 0, this table did not have the credit score in the schema, that column itself. At version 0, it only had 6 columns and it had this data. At version 1 or latest version, it also has credit score and it has this thing. Okay. Now, let me also do this. As of version 0, instead of, let's say, display, instead of show, okay, or let me run this. So still we have this 6 columns. The count is 14,705 rows at version 0. Now I will do the same for the current version, which is version 1, right? We have version 1. Okay, so current version, if you look at, see, we have credit score also, that column. And if you look at the count, see, 14,707. This is at 0, 14,705. Then we added 2 more rows, right? We added 2 rows. Now the current score is 14,707. Before adding 705, after adding 707, before adding only 6 columns, after adding, I have 7 columns, including the credit score. Now, is this clear?
Yes.
How the versioning works?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Now think about it. Even if I don't add this credit score and just added 2 rows, I will still have 2 versions, version 0 and version 1. The columns will be same if we don't add new column. Still, it can have the same schema, but the data will be different from version 0 and version 1 if we add 2 more rows, 707, correct?
Yeah, means you're adding 2 rows. The current
Yes.
one is appending the 2 rows.
Yes. Because when we are adding, we said append, right? So append added 2 more rows. Got it?
Does the version work for update as well? I mean, if you update existing data.
Yes, definitely. Okay, let's go check, right? So that is the ACID transactions that we are talking about. We will come to that, adding and updating and all of that. Okay. So when you want to restore a certain table to a certain older version, you can do it just like roll back. Okay. But before that, let's say we have update loans underscore delta set. Okay, what data you want to change? Let's say loan ID 0. Okay, the credit score is null. Now I want to update the credit score for this loan ID. Or let's say I want to update some first 10 records with the same credit score. Okay. Set credit score equal to 500, where loan ID less than 10. Correct? Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's run this. Okay. So remember what transactions we are doing. Now we have updated 10 records, right? Now, if we go back and check here, the count should not change, right? Because we are not done any add or delete. It's only the update. Now, if you see here, the first 10 rows, loan ID 0 to 10, the credit score is updated, right? Now, actually, we are interested in seeing how the versions are getting impacted, right? So we'll go back here. And then do the history. See, now a new version is created. Operation is update. Okay. See, what is the predicate we used to update? Loan ID less than 10. This is the operation parameters that were done. Operation was update, and this is the version 2 that was created after this update. Now version 2 will have its own transaction log, right? You want to check the transaction logs, you can go and check. Where do we have here? Yeah. So here, if we go and see, there's only 0 and 1 JSON files here. Now, if I run this, loans delta, so 0, 1, 2. So this is for the version 3 or version 2, 0, 1, 2. Now, if you open this 02 JSON, then it will have the latest data for that, latest whatever information for that. So we can go take this and say delta log 1. So I want to do 2 JSON. Okay. So run this. What happened? Expected indent. Okay. Zero, 1, and 2. So this is the 2. Data change, true, size, number of records, this, and funded amount, all this data that is created for this version, including the credit score. Right? So this is how the history gets created every time you do some transactions. Now the same thing, okay, latest version we have run. This is a 0. Okay, 0 will still remain same. This is the latest version. As I said, the count will remain same, but we have only updated the records. 14707. Okay. Now what happens? I can do the same, delete also.
Quick question, Harun.
Yeah.
The 3 things that you mentioned, I think I forgot those. The bronze, silver, and gold. Are those called? What are those called?
Those are just schema in the medallion architecture.
Schemas. Okay, so this versioning work for any schema. We can do this one for.
It is any table that you create a format delta.
Okay, so every time
all
you
the
make some
tables.
transaction, some changes to your data in the table,
Yes.
so this versioning occurs.
Yes.
And this comes by default, or do we need to enable this versioning thing?
Default. Databricks Delta, if you use, all these features are default. However, there are some things, features like vacuum. You get some default, history that is maintained after you delete. That you can change when you have enterprise edition, right? So then you can configure to have more historical data even after delete if you want to retrieve data. So default, I think, is 7 days. If you have enterprise, then you can configure it set to 30 days, which means that I should be able to retrieve the data even after delete, even for the last 30 days. That kind of config. There are a few features that you needed, but most of them are default available. All of these are out of box available. Bronze, silver, gold, raw, premium, platinum, whatever you create, those are all like logical separations, just schemas. That's it.
Okay.
It doesn't impact anything. It's only at the table level, that to format. If you use Parquet format or CSV format, these features are not available. But if you use Delta format, all these features are available out of the box.
So Arun, if you don't give any formats, by default system, what it takes?
Yeah, by default, it's Delta.
Default it's Delta. Okay.
Delta has this transaction log. If it is Parquet, it doesn't have transaction log. If there is no transaction log, you don't have versioning of the table. You can't roll back. The Delta also supports ACID. You can do merges, all those things. In Parquet tables, you cannot update table. There's no indexing, all those things.
Oh, based on the file format, you are getting the versioning.
Correct.
Only for
Delta and Iceberg, there is another called Iceberg
only
format.
the kind of files will get a versioning option.
Correct. So the Delta storage, that's why it's a Delta storage. So all the customers will use this, but they might have some existing tables in Parquet tables or some JSON tables. You may see them, but they will eventually convert them, that Parquet tables, into Delta tables. If you see the difference between Parquet tables and Delta tables, Srinivas Sakumari,
No,
even the Delta tables also, it's a
Mhm.
Parquet data only. In addition to that, the extra sauce is there. The extra sauce is which helps you a lot. Maintaining versioning, time travel, ACID transactions, and all the things. That is the benefit. That is what you don't have in if you go to Hive, general Hive on Hadoop, you can only do a append and overwrite.
Yeah, that's it.
And insert. You cannot update, you cannot maintain versioning, all those things. Make sense?
So this Delta format is specific to Databricks?
Databricks, but it is a open format. Even you can take this in your
Snowflake
company.
and other things also you can use.
Snowflake doesn't use this. Snowflake use a concept called Iceberg. Iceberg. But Iceberg now, Databricks, what they created is they don't want to have two rival groups like Delta and this one. So they came up with a concept called uniform. So uniform is another abstraction where under uniform you can put either Delta or Iceberg. So if you can write it as a uniform. And more recently, Databricks purchased a company called Tabular. Saram, the Tabular is the company which originally created Iceberg.
Okay.
Okay. So the story, but simply to summarize, don't get confused. These are called storage formats. Storage formats. So Delta is industry leading. Iceberg is the second. There is a third called Hoodie format also. Hoodie format. So all those uses the similar concept. There will be a Parquet storage and there is a transactional log. The way they maintain transactional log is little different. The way these Delta maintains is different. But all are now becoming coming close now. So maybe in next 5 years, you won't be talking it's a Delta, it is something like that. You will be just calling it as a storage format. They all become uniform. It makes sense?
If any data, there's no modifications required, they all use the Parquet. If any changes, like a transactional kind of data, they use the Delta format.
You see, it is not that, right? Even your inserts, if you want to do a versioning, rollback, right? You can't do rollback, right? If it is simple.
Okay.
So it's not just beyond updates. It is a whole things. That's why everyone uses say the Delta or Iceberg or Hoodie format, but there may be existing legacy tables, Srinivas, which may be in that came from Hive, that came from some other way. Historically, they might be using exactly as you said, overwrite all those things. There may be a tables. Or sometimes you may have just Parquet files. There are no tables, just Parquet files, right? So, you don't have to have tables. If you have Parquet tables, you can read and you can query.
Yeah.
See, See, why you need a table? Can you imagine now? See, you assume everything is stored in a Parquet files. There are no tables. Just I'm throwing a scenario, funny scenario.
Mhm.
See, you are doing a Spark data read, Parquet. You got a data frame. Then you can start querying it. Correct?
Yes.
But every time you have to do Spark data read and query it, that is additional overhead. Instead, you have some table structures. So that way, even some front-end tools like Power BI, Tableau, they can search in the catalog, right? If you have tables, you can search in the catalog. But if you search the files, it will be awkward, right? Because there will be many files.
Yes.
But one table will have 100 files. If there are so many files people see, they go crazy. So tables, and moreover, everyone is familiar. That is the reason. Srini. Does that make sense, Srini?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, go ahead. Great session, Arun. You're doing great. Again, everyone, every day you will not be worried about these versions, etc. This is just to make you understand under the hood what is happening. As an engineer, you just write Spark programs. They will be inserting all these things it will be doing. Suddenly, we have some problem with this data. Oh, then you go to the concept of rolling back, etc. Schema evolution also, it won't happen every day. Your company say, hey, don't evolve schema.
But generally, what's a real scenario? We use these versions and these things happen. So instead of writing those code where these are useful in the real scenario, where to see in the daily life.
Exactly, right? Now take a case. Your jobs are running. Somehow they felt a source data came wrong. Right? Last 1 week, the source data is wrong. Oh, then okay. Instead of running the whole end to end, you can roll back your data to 2 weeks back. Correct? Subbu?
Yes.
And that's the scenario one. Then take the that is versioning. If you take the schema evolution, as Harun mentioned, if you evolve schema, then downstream systems people may shout, right? Hey, why you are sending all the different data? Our systems doesn't support schema evolution. You are working on Databricks, which is a fancy system. You guys are acting too smart. Our systems are on Oracle, etc. We need this data. You cannot send the what is that, new columns. We want you to send correct. Then what you will do? You won't do the schema evaluation, right? Your company,
Yes.
your manager says, no, we are not doing any schema evaluation. So that's why you make it error out, actually. Then when it error out, you go to the source, say, why you guys are sending 2 additional columns? We agreed. You guys need to send the current schema. So all this all happens even in the Oracle systems, CRM systems, in our regular projects, right? Sairam, we worked in PeopleSoft, we send files to third parties, right, Sairam?
Yeah, all the benefits vendors.
Exactly, vendors. So all these scenarios more or less remains the same. These features Harun showing is you won't apply every day here and there. No, this is all okay. In interviews, they will ask, hey, how you evolve schema. They will ask. Yeah. Or you go to a scenario where your project needs that evaluation, you will do it. So this is for you understand, oh, this feature exists. There are 100 more features, but don't worry about everything. This is like a ocean. So it helps you understand this platform is so powerful. So powerful. That's what you do. It has all the whistles, bells, all the knives like a Swiss knife, they will say. It does not mean you will use the knife every day. Subbo, you have gun in the sense you won't use the gun every day. Are you getting me, Subbo?
Yes, Srini.
Okay. Fairly good. First understand and keep moving, guys. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you see here, version 1 or version 2, that what we did, the latest one, we have updated the credit score here to 500 for the first 10 records. So that is the new version that is created. Now I'm going to select from the table as of version as of 1. Okay. You see here version 1 still has this column, but the scores are null. This is before the update ran. Okay. So let's say somebody has run the update on the table by mistake. Okay. You can again run an update to set it to previous value, or you don't know what the previous value was and all of that. You can simply say, go back to the previous version. So this is as of version 1. So you don't see any updated values here for this. So this is as of version 1, but latest version is this 2. So what you can do is, if you want to roll back these transactions to say previous version, where we don't want to see any of the credit scores here. So you looked at it and you say, okay, previous version is good. Now I want to just restore the table to the previous version. So you just say restore this table version as of 1. Okay. So if I restore table to this 1, so whatever snapshot it was at version 1 will become the latest version now. So this is the actual rollback. This is actually you are viewing the data, seeing the data as of that particular version, that snapshot. Here you are roll back. So the current, whatever current state of the table to that version. So this will be the latest version will be same as your version 1.
There's one question here. Normally, just you're restoring the version here. Suppose I made changes to 10 records. Okay. But specifically 9 records are good. Okay. I need to just one record as a problem. Can I restore only one particular record to the old version?
No,
No.
that is not possible. Not at that granular. It's all at one
falls
time.
under acid. That falls under acid. Either you atomicity, isolation, consistency, durability. So the consistency, either that update is for 10 rows.
Okay.
So either you have 10 rows or no rows update.
Okay. Only for the session we can able to restore, not for
Exactly.
It's just whole one transaction, right? That you ran the update. So all 10 records are updated in one transaction.
Yes.
There is only one version that was created. So you have before and after. You don't have a version created for each record. Okay, if you run the update separately for each record, yes, there will be a separate version created.
It's for these transactions.
Yeah. So now if you go and see the latest version, okay. Even the latest version will have the same as version 1.
Yeah, rolling back is also a new version. You
Yes.
roll back to version, but that rolling back itself is...
See, now the latest one, you don't have credit score here. Okay. So this is the latest version as of 1, but this is not version 1 actually. This is a new version that is created just like version 1. So if you go back, you will see now there is one more version that is created, which is actually the rollback to the previous one. So anything you do, there is always a new version that is created.
So we have option, we always go into any version.
Yes. See, now this is 3 is created. This 3 is your restore. It will also tell you what operation was done to come here, restore. Now you have all these 4. You can always go back to 0 again, or you can go back to 1 again. which is again same as 3, or you can go back to 2, which is your updated records. So the moment you go back to any of this, that particular data is reflected as the latest one.
But how you know which you restored that one? Do you have any information you restored to from which was you're restoring version 1 here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restore version 1.
Yeah. Got it.
Or if you have restored to timestamp, it will give you the timestamp. The same thing you can also do with the timestamp. As of timestamp, you can give the timestamp.
That operation will tell you what you have done.
Yeah.
These are very powerful. That's why this platform is very famous, guys. Yeah. But again, every day you won't be doing this. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so this is the time travel concept and the asset transactions where you can do insert, update, or delete. Okay, so there is another concept called merge, okay, where you can do an upsert. We will discuss that in the next session. Before we wrap up, a few concepts called the vacuum optimize. We'll just talk about it. We don't need to do a practice on that. So what it does, what vacuum does, what optimize does, and how to use the merge statement, that we will discuss in the next session. Okay. Yeah, so I think that is a lot for you to digest today, understand. Please practice this. Keep running the do check different versions and understand how the versioning works and what updates or deletes or schema evaluation that you do. Practice this, and then we can just check it. So merge, there is a merge that we will do. Update we have already done. Delete is same as update. So merge we can do. Merge we will talk about in the next session. Okay. So just practice still here, or look into this still here. And if you have any questions before we wrap up, we can talk about it.
Okay, awesome, guys. This is great session. Any questions? Any comments on this, Murali? Any comments? How did you feel? How does it sound?
Yeah, this is really good, Srini. So yeah, understand what we can do and what are the scenarios we can cover with this. Especially this rolling backup time travel is very nice feature, because usually in industry, in my experience, so we face a lot of things like that, and usually we do first we'll go to the DBA and we ask, do you have the backups? So with the DBA help, we do the backups, and with the source system, we discuss the source system and we do the backups from that. So this is a very nice feature.
Here, if you see, your data is not getting copied repeatedly. Only that transaction log is maintaining all the what is happening it. That's good. Shanmuga, because I know it may be a little bit overwhelming for you, but that is fair. That is fair. So you don't expect you will know this absolutely clear,
I have a small question, Harun. Let's say now we have version 4, and then we stored this table in a different database. Now, can we map back?
Not in a different database. It is the same table. When you say rollback, it is still the same table in the same database, and nothing changed. The table for users is the same. Because now ask the question.
Yeah. So now let's say that we use that Medallion, that format, right? The schema, bronze and silver. Now we let's say we updated, like we moved, we did some transformations, and then we moved one table to a different database, let's say silver. Now, can we map back that whatever data? Do we have that time travel back to the bronze table?
No. See, every table you create, it will have its own transaction log and its own data files. All time travel you cannot do between two different tables or two
Databases.
different
Okay.
databases.
Okay, you can.
Travel is
Gotcha.
only for that particular table.
Okay,
That's a good question.
that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Sairam, any comments? How does it sound?
No, it's pretty good. I mean, trying to understand all the concepts, but
Very
up
good.
until now, whatever we discussed so far, do we have any real-time use cases?
No, whatever we discuss is a kind of real time only. See,
Okay.
it's data changes. That's it. It's a people data, financial data. It is the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Subbu,
it happens all the time in the company, right? Source system files.
Mhm.
Suddenly some new schema comes in, and then the process fails. So this is a real-time scenario only. All the time happens. It's only that if you want to include that, handle that, and say merge schema, or you just don't want to, you want it to fail.
Okay.
That's
Got
all. The decisions you have to make.
it. Okay.
So Arun, do we have any maximum number of these versions to maintain? For example, after 2-3 years, so the versions will be big, right? I want to go back some after 1 year. Do we have that or no?
that's a good question. Murali,
Yes, like-
technically, Murali, right? Murali, technically,
Yes.
there is no limitation, but your storage costs will be increasing, as these versions are increasing, So that's where you generally they maintain a 30 days, or even some people only maintain last 7 days, So you can go on. That is where Harun will introduce the concept called vacuum. Vacuum is the one which cleans out these versions, older than last 30 days, or last for like that. So technically you can keep, but your storage cost will be increasing. Got it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Super. Shanmuka, any questions, comments? Feel good?
No, Srini, I'm good, but I have
It
to
will be a
practice.
little
Yeah.
overwhelming. If you understood everything clearly, I'll be surprised. You're a genius. Yeah.
No, I have to practice one time. Yeah.
Take time. Settle down the concepts. You just mentally imagine scenarios slowly. But if you have understood this and being comfortable, you'll be very much successful in the industry, because a lot of people don't go this many details. They just prepare high level updates and all those things.
Yeah.
Excellent.
80% you focus on the ETL stuff, what we discussed, the batch processing, right? That is the most important crux. How you read from different files, how you do parsing, how you do transformations, what are different types of transformations, how do we join different data sets, right? And then how do we do aggregations on the data? How do we write to different schemas, right? So that ETL part, that is the most important. So you have to spend more time on doing with more data sets, more different parsing, different transformations and all of that, join strategies, and 70%. The rest 30% is all of these concepts. What is time travel? What is vacuum? What is optimize? What are the join strategies that are used by Spark? How does Apache Spark do the DAG? All of these we will discuss. Internals of Spark, how it handles data when you join, how the data is shuffled across multiple machines, nodes. So all these are concepts that you should know, specifically, from the certification or from the interviews perspective. So that 30% is required. But practice, you should do the first 70%, doing as much as writing transformations, reading the data, parsing, doing streaming, all of those things. That is the where you have to put more effort, more practice.
Super. Before you leave, Harun, can you click that link? I want everyone to do some research on this. I shared on the chat link. ACID transactions. Click that link. It will open up. Everyone, go through. We've been saying that Delta supports ACID. ACID is a general Databricks concepts. A for atomicity. It means each transaction is a one unit. When you do either you insert or you roll back, it doesn't do partially. Even consistency is about data consistency. This is the table we are updating. This is the how, where conditions, all those things. Consistency of the data. The isolation means some people will be reading, some people will be writing the same table. One job is writing, another job is reading. A second job is also trying to write, how to avoid the conflicts, etc., how to work in isolated way. Those things are the database concepts. Durability, ultimately, you store your data. Is it able to stay there safely? Any changes are happening, successfully executed or not, all those things. So do watch some videos also on this. What is ACID? Read this. And below, can you go down all the way? There is go down some more. Yeah, why ACID transactions are good things to have. Then how Delta Lake implemented. It's a general reading. So basically, ACID is a concept in high level where the storage layer makes sure your data is safe. Your data is expected to behave the way you want. You're inserting, it is absolutely inserting. It doesn't insert. If you insert 10 rows, either it insert 10 rows or don't insert. Nothing like, oh, by mistake, it inserted only 9 rows. No, it doesn't happen. That type of things are part of this ACID transaction. Do some reading, do some watch a couple of videos. If you still have any questions, just reach us. This is I gave this link in the in the chat. Otherwise, awesome, great session, Harun. Good job, Sairam. Good participation, Shanmuga, Murali, Ravi, Srinivas Sakamuri. Great participation. You shown your experience and keen interest in it, details. That is so important. Manasa, even though you're new, good you are asking questions. We encourage you. Even if it's a silly question you think, don't hesitate to ask. A question that is not asked is a silly question. Okay. Because good participation. Everyone keep practicing, guys. This is great.
Sure.
Venkat, it's some hands-on really helps. Trust me, this is a gold mine.
Okay.
This Databricks skill is a gold mine. Next 10 years is a gold mine. Yeah, I know. I've been digging this gold past 5.5 years, guys. So I know this. This is really, I want this success to all of you also. And you will be leading good teams going forward. We'll work together.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. I'll publish the book and recording in some time. Okay.
Ravi, any questions? Good participation, Ravi. No, Ravi, these details are.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Srini, with the details. Thank you for giving me an update.
Oh, absolutely, guys. I'll reach all of you guys for. We need to collect some fees. I need to give some fees to Harun also. He has a lot of expenses. Hey, guys, please help us on that. Okay. I'll reach you offline.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Srini.
Let's
Thank you,
work a
Harun.
great team, guys. Help each other. Awesome.